Let's get into a fun movie from 2018, Tales from the Hood 2. Summary. Keith David stars as a contemporary Mr. Sims to tell blood-curdling stories about lust, greed, pride, and politics through tales with demonic dolls, possessed psychics, vengeful vixens, and historical ghosts. Mr. Sims' haunting stories will make you laugh while you scream. Written and directed by Rusty Cundieff, who wrote on, who is known from The Chappelle Show and the original Tales from the Hood.
Yeah.
Darin Scott, known as more of a producer. He worked on Stepfather 2, Menace to Society, but has directed movies like Something Wicked and Deep Blue Sea 2.
It's both of the guys that did the original.
Yeah. And it's produced by Spike Lee, just like the original was. Do you have additional details on this?
It's distributed by Universal Pictures and out on Blu-ray through Universal Pictures. This year, 2018. This is a brand new movie.
Brand fucking new. Straight to video. What the fuck happened with the CGI intro? Because there's a lot of skeletons, man. Like, so if you want to see skeletons with sunglasses, this is where you would go. CGI skeleton. It looks bad. And the other thing about this is the original Tales from the Hood had a badass soundtrack that had like all kinds of great fucking rap songs on it, and this doesn't have any. The intro music is shitty organ music with CGI skeletons. I'll tell you what, I hated a lot of the stuff that stitches the stories together. The Keith David stuff, he's great. I love him. The whole premise of the overlying story is that there's this politician dude who has bought this robot police force, and he needs this Sims guy who is Keith David, who is a different guy in the first movie completely, to tell these stories to these robots so they can learn things, so they can police properly. But I'm guessing that this politician must have heard, hey, there's a black dude telling spooky stories in a funeral home. We really could use him, because how did he hear about Sims? At all. And they really play off this. In the first one, he says something about the shit. Yes, because they're looking for the shit. They keep saying, where's the shit, man?
Have you seen the first one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you know about the shit.
Yeah.
The shit.
Right.
Well, he says the shit. The shit. He's really doing it up, and it's a little too much. But I liked the fucking stories in this. I liked all the segments. The first one is a doll story. Basically, it even features the little doll from the first one laughing and smiling a little bit, but it's this big what would you call it, a sewn together black racist doll in this
Golly
old,
gee.
yeah. They really wanted more.
I don't know, this movie this movie's ridiculous with the racist.
They really wanted Morgan Freeman for this old dude in this museum of racism, which is called the Museum of Negrosity, a healing place for the blackened soul.
The negrosity.
And it's funny because I remember the first one had overtones, but I don't think it was that overt. Like
well, let me tell you something.
It was them explaining.
Let me tell you something else the first one had.
Yeah.
First one had a hood, too.
Yeah.
There's no hood in this.
No,
Like,
not at all.
Like, they just threw some black people in this movie and called it Tales from the Hood. Like, they're living in mansions, dressed in suits and stuff. Like, everything's... There's no hood in this movie.
There's no hood at all.
But I do love the way they brought back the little doll from the first movie for that cameo. I like the first segment. It's fun. It's kind of cartoony, schlocky and weird. And the second story is a mix of a gangster story and this psychic. These gangsters are idiots, and they think that this psychic dude that's on TV is going to be able to point them in the direction of money that they want to channel a guy that they just killed. And it just so happens that he fucking does. He channels all kinds of fucking people. And that shit is great. It's hilarious. This dude's doing all these different voices, and it's fucking funny. It's hilarious.
Why would you need to channel a guy you just killed? Why would you?
Because he hid $1 million from him.
Well, where's that $1 million before I shoot you?
Yeah. The third story is a dude tries to pull a Cosby on a couple ladies. Takes him up to his date rape studio with his buddy. And they end up in a really fucked up vampire scenario. It's fairly short. It was alright. The fourth story is the racist vigilantes and the crazy pregnant lady. I don't really understand what's going on here. There's a lot of Klan stuff and whatever. Anyways, this movie wraps up.
Respect the sacrifices.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. All these... It's I don't know. Black History Month.
Yeah.
Like all the...
I got Martin Luther King.
Like all these historic black...
This guy's... There's a black dude... There's a rich black dude who's voting Republican. And he's trying to... They're trying to vote to close down polling stations. And these black ghosts from years past, slaves and people that got beat by the KKK and racists, they all show up. And they tell this dude he has to respect the sacrifice and he has to take a sacrifice. And then the guy who he was supporting as running for office or whatever comes in in a what I wrote down, Klan Patrol. The Klan Patrol comes in their van that says Klan Patrol, and they've got these outfits on, and they beat this guy to death. And then everything reverses, but that dude's still dead.
Yeah, he had to make the sacrifice.
So I don't know how they explained it to the real life people what happened. If they saw all that happen, I don't know. It didn't make sense. But ultimately, the end of this movie wraps up with the Robo Patriot, they call it, killing the political dude. His name is Dumas Beach, or Dumbass Bitch, is what the robot calls it. So kills him. You know, it's a whole thing. I enjoyed the segmented stories on their own. I thought the wraparound story was bullshit. Very disappointing soundtrack. All together, I gave it 8 out of 10. I had fun.
Spike Lee listed as executive producer.
Yeah, he just had money.
Yeah. Like he has to be embarrassed to have his name attached to this. Like it's
that bad.
One of these dudes did Fear of a Black Hat. Isn't that like a big fucking play? Like he wrote it. He wrote Fear of a Black Hat. So
I'm not sure.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Keith David, he's great in this.
Yeah.
He does a good job. Like that first guy. I don't know, did he just not want to do it? Did he die or what?
Maybe he read the script. I think he denied doing it. He didn't want to do it.
He did a good job filling in for him. The rest of the acting is horrible. It's bad. The CG robot is awful. And it's an hour 51 minutes too. It's like easily 30 minutes too long.
Why couldn't they just do it in the fucking funeral home again? It's right there. You don't have to make a damn CGI nothing.
And again, not one of these stories is in the hood. There's no hood. I don't understand. It's
shit.
It's nowhere near the first movie. I was disappointed that some of the, I guess the stories are okay. Like that's the only thing that really saves this at all. There's over the top racism and sexism. Like it's just the Golly G thing. The big. It's funny. But it's not.
Let's expand on that story. I didn't explain that story correctly. There's this white girl that really wants this little doll, and it's this little. It looks like a Raggedy Ann doll, but it's black. And so the guy won't sell it to her.
I think they're a real thing.
They are, I'm sure. And so she decides they're going to break in there and steal it because this guy won't sell it to her. Well, this thing turns into a guy in a big
puppet
suit. And the thing that's cool about it that I liked was that the faces change. Like he's happy, sometimes he's mad, sometimes, but he's killing people. And then he fucks that girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she immediately becomes pregnant. And the guy that is running this racism museum pops in like a doctor, and he's like stapling plastic up. And her belly's like huge already, and then she just busts open, and all these little tiny baby dolls, just pop out of her, and then he's laughing, and he has some fucking line, but I liked it. I thought it was.
Come on.
I thought it was a fun time.
Anyway, also I gave it. Did I tell you that? I gave that a 4.
Wow. Well, let's read the bad review.
The bad review is very direct to the point. 1 out of 10. Racist as hell. That's all they said. Racist as hell.
It doesn't flip over. There's nothing on the other.
Oh, I don't think there is.
Up here?
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, I guess so. Hey, I liked if we would have just left it as that. Just racist as hell. Sorry. It says, this is stupid and plain right ignorant. I don't see how the actors were cool with shooting this racist garbage of a movie. It is terrible as hell.
Dude, whenever the white psychic is doing the black guy's voice, that is very racist. It's funny as fuck.
4 or 5 different ones.
My dick was bigger. He does a lot of different voices.
He channels all these different voices that he killed.
Yeah. My dick was big.
Okay, well...